Hey, so today I'm showing you how to crochet a flower fellow. I've also been calling these shy little flower guys. This is a pattern that I came up with. It's a no-sew pattern, and here's what you'll need to get started. So you'll need a crochet hook and yarn. I'm using a 7mm hook because I'm using blanket yarn, but you can choose any weight you would like. Also, you'll need a darning needle and a pair of scissors. And here are the stitches that I'll be using for this pattern. I'm using US terms. So I think that's it, and let's get started. Jumping into the pattern, I'm starting with yellow yarn. We're going to start with the middle of the flower. So I'm making a magic ring and I'm crocheting 6 single crochets into the magic ring. So once you have 6 single crochets in your magic ring, you'll pull that tight, and then I'm going to go ahead and move on to round 2, 3, and 4. So round 2, you'll increase 6 times around. Round 3, you'll do 1 single crochet, increase 6 times around. And then round 4 is 2 single crochets, increase 6 times around. You should have 24 stitches by the end of round 4, and let me catch up and we'll start on the petals next. Okay, so here's what mine looks like after I've finished round 4. This is the middle of the flower, and now we're going to start working on the petals for the flower. So this next round, we're just going to do front loop only. So I chose white yarn for my petals. You can choose any color you want, but I'm attaching the white yarn front loop only, and we're going to start with a slip stitch, followed by a double crochet in the next stitch, followed by 2 treble crochets in the next stitch, followed by 1 double crochet, and then in the next stitch, we'll slip stitch. And you're gonna repeat that 5 times around, so you'll have 6 petals in total. I didn't speed this part of the video up because I wanted to show myself doing these stitches in real time, because I know these petals can be a little confusing to some people. So I'm gonna leave the instructions up and you can just watch me make this petal, and then after I finish all my petals, then we'll move on to the rest of the pattern. Okay, so here's mine with all the petals done. If yours isn't laying flat, you can kind of move the yarn around like I am, and it will help a little bit. But we're gonna move on to the body of the flower fellow. So we're gonna work in the back loop of round 4, and we're gonna attach green yarn for the body, and you're just gonna single crochet around. So you should have 24 stitches by the end of it. And for rounds 7 through 9, you're also just going to single crochet around, and that's 3 rounds. So you should still have 24 stitches by the end of it. And whenever I get to round 9, I will come back. Here's what mine looks like after round 9, and so now we're going to move on to round 10, and this is where we make the little arms for our flower fellow. So I do 7 single crochets, a small bobble, 8 single crochets, another small bobble, and 7 single crochets, and you'll have 24 by the end of this round too. I like to do small bobbles instead of a regular one, so a small bobble is 3 loops on your hook instead of 5. And I just like to do this because I think it makes the arms look a little smaller, but this isn't necessary. So if you just want to do normal bobbles that you're used to, then that's fine as well. I just wanted to share the way that I do it because I like how it looks whenever the feet are a little bit bigger than the arms. And after round 10, for round 11 and 12, you're just gonna single crochet around. So again, 24 stitches, and I will come back whenever I get done with 11 and 12. So here's what mine looks like after round 12. And before I finish it, we only have 3 rounds left, but before we finish it off, this is whenever I like to add the face. I put the eyes between rows 7 and 8, and I'm using safety eyes, but you don't necessarily have to if you want to crochet eyes for him. But I just like using safety eyes. And after I get the safety eyes put in place, I like to embroider a line for his mouth. And I also embroider some cheeks too. And you can do any kind of shape of mouth you want to, and you don't necessarily have to do this. But I just think it makes him look cute and makes him look a little more shy. So now that I have his face embroidered on, I'm now gonna move on to round 13, and we only have 3 rounds left until we're done. So round 13, this is where you're gonna make the feet. So you single crochet 9, and then do a bobble, and then single crochet 5, and then another bobble, and then single crochet 8. And this one I am doing normal bobbles because I want the feet to be a little bit bigger. But again, if you don't want to specify your bobbles, you don't have to. And for round 13, you should also end up with 24 stitches when you're done. So I'm just going to keep speeding through the end of this pattern. So for round 14, you're going to decrease 12 times a round, and you should end up with 12 stitches at the end of this round. And right before we finish the flower fellow, I like to put the stuffing in because the next round we will be closing it. So last round, round 15, we're gonna do 6 decreases around, so you should end up with 6 stitches by the end, and you can tie off and close out the flower fellow, and he's all done. And here's what mine looks like after I finished it off. I think he's super cute. I love these little flower fellows so much, and I hope that you were able to follow along and watch this whole thing through. If you made your own, you can find me over on Instagram and tag me if you want to and follow me over there. Also, you could subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already, and let me know down below if you would like to see another tutorial from me. But again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.